Okay, Brandon.
We're on?
No. See if you got the link.
Oh, okay.
We are live, but nobody's on it yet. Put it in crossbar, yeah. Katie's driving. So if she didn't know if she'd be able to send it out, I'm like, well, I'll just have Brandon do it then. It went out.
Live.
You are. You're on. A what? I have it, yeah. And it's in.
All right, good afternoon. We're live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Des Moines Bucs are playing Albert Lee out of Minnesota in the first game of the weekend. The Bucs club is up to full strength. All their skaters are returned, minus Brady Risselman, who will be back in action tomorrow morning. So the Bucs with 14 skaters this afternoon, 2 goalies, 2 coaches, and 3 coaches rather. And Albert Lee looks to have a little bit shorter of a bench. Small town out of southern Minnesota. But should be a tough hockey game. Expect this to be a much more difficult opponent than the Waterloo Hawks that the Bucs played last weekend with 2 lopsided victories. First of 3 round-robin games, and the outcomes of our first 3 games will dictate Sunday's matchup. All right, coaches are given one final talk over to their teams, and we'll be getting started here soon. All right, well, it looks like we've got Malang and Dirksen, Claypool, Gladson, and Long. Brody Everett coming into the net this afternoon to start game 1. Looks like Dirksen sliding back to defense, paired up with Brooks Malang, Gladson on the draw, and we're about ready to get started here. And we've got a live puck drop. Gladson wins it over to Claypool, dumps it in, and Gladson goes to work on the forecheck. First skater there, puts it out into the slot, can't connect. Malang steps up, Gladson forechecking there, and we have a quick whistle. The Bucs pushing the pace right out of the gate here against the Albert Lee club, and given we're only 15 seconds into the game, I do like our odds here so far. Might be a little quick to make a determination there, but call me an optimistic. Albert Lee fires it down, and that's going to be an icing. Had a little foot race there. Dirksen and the number 12 captain from Albert Lee, and we got a whistle. Going to switch it out. A couple new defenders out there. Keeping forwards the same. Capper and Van Eyten paired up here. We've got 5D, so expect to see the defenseman just kind of in a blender here this afternoon. Probably see many different pairings. Capper retrieves it. Skates around his own goal net, looking for options. Doesn't see any. Coughs the puck up. Puck's fired back out into the slot. Van Eyten comes over for support. Puck there in the left corner. Fires it out front, looking on a backdoor pass. Broken up nicely by Capper. Off the side of the net. Gladson controlling off the boards and can't connect with Long. Albert Lee defenseman holds it in for now, and the Bucs are going to get it out to center ice. New forwards out there for the Bucs. Van Eyten reverses it. Havmeyer comes down to retrieve it and comes around the net with the left wing with some speed, and he's going to carry it up out through the neutral zone, across the blue line. It's got a step, shot, blocker, up into the net. 13:35 left in the first period. Bucs register their first shot on goal. Havmeyer coming in with some really strong speed there, moving the wheels. Looking good out there so far. Smith on the draw. Herman and Malang paired up on defense. Albert Lee comes away with the draw. Rimmed around the boards. Herman steps up, kicks it up to Havmeyer. Havmeyer with the snapshot right into the glove. And goaltender says, "Look what I found." Another puck drop here to the right of the Albert Lee goaltender. Smith on the draw. Wins it over to Kruger. Can't handle. Puts it back into the zone. Smith going to retrieve it. And the Albert Lee goaltender, a little nonchalant there with his puck covering abilities, but nonetheless gets the whistle. Coach Smith keeping the lines moving here quickly, trying to keep skaters out there fresh, seeing if we can wear down this Albert Lee club. Face-off win by Albert Lee. Defenseman doing a little dipsy-doodle there behind his own net, off the boards and out to center ice. And Dirksen can't control, and great A opportunity here for Albert Lee. They cough up the puck, and ref takes a spill, held in at the blue line. Pass into the slot, broken up momentarily. Tiger comes over, controls it, skates it out, looks to find Woodland cutting, can't connect. Tiger comes back and battles and pitchforks it into the zone, patted aside by the Albert Lee goaltender, and the Bucs go off for a change. Capper comes out looking to break up that rush, does so successfully. Van Eyten gets it up but not out, and it's backhanded back into the Bucs in. Capper controlling, rims it around, finds Long, hits Claypool there coming through the center ice dot. Gladson dumps it in, runs over an Albert Lee skater. Few applause coming from the Bucs bench as Gladson totally laid out that skater. Van Eyten puts it in deep, finds Gladson, feeds it into the slot. Long, Claypool looks to fire off a shot. Puck's loose, rimmed around. Van Eyten goes to hold it in, does. Puts it back into the corner to Long. Van Eyten slashes to the front of the net. Shoot. Blocked out front by Albert Lee. And they come away with the 3-on-2 the other way. Claypool backing up his teammate. Blocked by George Claypool up into the glass. Herman controls and comes away with it. Hits Claypool in the left wing. Broken up nicely by the Albert Lee defenseman. Transitions back the other way, crosses the Bucs blue line, drop pass to the left winger. Blocked out front. Herman comes away with it, puts it off the boards to Claypool, and the Bucs got a 3-on-0. Claypool crosses center ice, backdoor for Kruger, hits the side of the net. Nice look there. Kruger controlling, looks to play it out front. Smith controlling. Comes out to the defenseman, hits the side of the net. Nice slap shot there by Herman. Didn't quite get all of it, but still a grade A chance. Battle there on the left wing boards. Puck squirts out. Albert Lee looks to clear, cannot. Herman puts it back into the right corner. Albert Lee clears it out to center ice. Herman looking for Kruger on the left wing, hits him. Kruger crosses the blue line, fires it right into the breadbasket and frozen. 10:25 left in the first period. 0-0 hockey game. All right, we got a puck drop here to the right of Albert Lee's goaltender. Kiger at the draw. Albert Lee comes away with it. Nice step there by Malang. Shot, glove down, puck's loose. Held in by Dirksen. Slap shot, blocked out front by Albert Lee, and they transition the other way. Nice back check there by Kiger, looks to break up the transition pass. Nice stick by Malang. Albert Lee still controlling the puck. Set up on the back door. Backhanded in, saved by Everett. Puck's loose. Albert Lee still controls. Shot wide of the net. Blocked out front. Pad saved by Everett. Puck's loose. And Dirksen clears it out. That's going to be an icing. .39 left in the first period, and that was a grade A chance by the Albert Lee club. And Brody Everett up to the task. 5 new skaters for the Bucs. Gladson, Claypool, and Long are the forwards. Freddie looks to clear it, bangs it off an Albert Lee skater. Gets his own rebound there in the corner. Blocked out front, stick the side easily by Everett. Off the boards and out, and that's going to be, they're calling an icing there. I'm not sure I agree with that call, but once again, they didn't ask for my opinion. So that's going to come back the other way and face off to the right of Brody Everett. Gladson here on the draw. Long and Claypool are the wingers. Freddie Capper and Van Eyten are on defense. Face-off drawn all the way out to center ice. Claypool gets hooked down, no call, and covered up by the Albert Lee goaltender. Claypool had a little bit of a rush there, and he was sticked down by the Albert Lee club, and refs looked the other way on that one. Gladson on the draw. Gladson comes away with it, puts it down deep to Long, looks for Claypool. Long still controls, blocked out front, loose in the slot. Puck squirts out, and Albert Lee comes back the other way on a 2-on-3. Bucs have numbers. Glove down by Everett, and we've got a whistle. The line of Gladson, Long, and Claypool looking very strong here so far this afternoon. Smith, Kruger, and Havmeyer together here. Albert Lee with the face-off win. Kruger attacking there at the point. Dirksen picks it up behind the net, rims it around. Kruger there to pick it up, pitches it up out in center ice. Havmeyer coming through with some speed, and he's broken loose. Havmeyer's pad save. Rebound off into the corner. Kruger plays it down deep. Smith retrieves. Now Havmeyer forechecking, a really strong forecheck here by the Bucs. Rimmed around. Dirksen's going to hold that one in. Puts it into the corner. Held in once again. Put back into the corner. Albert Lee struggling to clear it out. Dirksen steps up for a third time to put it back into the corner. And the Albert Lee goaltender freezes it. 8:07 left in the first period. Bucs 0, Albert Lee 0. We've got Smith, Havmeyer, and Kruger are the forwards. Dirksen and Herman on defense. Referees taking a closer look at the net here in the Albert Lee end. Just making sure the moorings are on there tight. Ref's having a discussion here with the goaltender. Not quite sure what they're looking at there, but referee comes over to the Albert Lee bench. All right, we're going to get back to action. Smith here on the draw. Albert Lee wins it back, puts it in the corner, picked up by the right wing defenseman. Herman steps up, holds it in. Havmeyer retrieves it, trying to puck handle out of a phone booth. Herman controlling. He's pinched off there by number 5, held in by Dirksen. Slap shot coming in, blocked aside. Havmeyer in a strong forecheck, and Albert Lee comes away with it. Cross-ice pass. Nice back check there by Kruger. That's blocked out front, and we got an offsides call. 7:35 left in the first period. Shots are 5-5. Score 0-0. And we're going to have a face-off here right outside the Bucs defensive end. Tiger, Hicklin, and Widlin are the forwards. Freddie Capper comes away with it. He's surveying his options. Carries it in front of the net. Moves it over nicely to Hicklin. Just a little too hot to handle there. And pitchfork up and out. Hicklin gains the red line. Puts it into the corner. And goes on the offensive forecheck. Capper steps up. Supported by Kiger. Puts it back into the corner to Hicklin. Albert Lee comes away with it. They move it over. Malang there trying to stick that away at center ice. Shot blocked out front. Albert Lee puts it down deeper. Capper looks to control behind his own net. Rims it around to Hicklin. Hicklin looking to connect on a breakout pass, and Capper puts it up off the glass. And Albert Lee quickly regroups, and they look to move back into the Bucs end. It's dumped in. Malang controlling. Backhands it over to Capper, who's got some time and space. Gladson fresh off the bench. Capper looking cross ice. It's intercepted. Malang steps up into the play, still controlling it. Backhands it over to Gladson, just out of her reach, and Albert Lee comes away with it, and they clear it out of their own end. No offsides called there. Capper picks it up in his own end. Backhands it up to Claypool. Pops out into the slot. Van Eyten gets it out of harm's way, and Claypool's got an opportunity to break loose here with Long. Didn't realize the puck had made its way to the neutral zone, and Albert Lee catches a break there. Strong back check by Gladson. Gladson looking for Long, can't connect. Herman steps. Broken up there nicely by Albert Lee, who dumps it in. Van Eyten controls it. Claypool looking to spring loose on a potential breakaway there. Van Eyten regroups with Herman. They play pass. Van Eyten off the boards and up out into the neutral zone. And Gladson picks it up to Long, and they've got a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Gladson controlling. Shot. Stick save. Puck's still loose. Puck is still loose. Great job there by the referees letting them play. The Bucs had probably 2 or 3 whacks at that. And grade A chance. Excellent puck movement there by the Bucs. 5:13 left in the first period. Score 0-0. All right, we got 5 new skaters. Smith, Kruger, and Havmeyer are the forwards. Van Eyten on left D, Herman right D. Albert Lee comes away with it. Strong back check there by Havmeyer. Herman controls, plays it across ice, no one there. Albert Lee picks it up, and they fire it in. And that's blocked aside. Van Eyten picks it up in the left corner. Cross ice to Kruger, just underneath his stick, and Albert Lee looks to regroup. Shot right into the belly of Havmeyer, who nearly had a breakaway there. Albert Lee comes away with it, gains the red line, and they dump it in. Van Eyten goes to retrieve. 50-50 puck here. Let's see who comes away with it. Hands up in the face there a little bit. Smith comes over to support, and he comes away with it. Skates it up, moves it over to Herman. That's intercepted easily by a couple of Albert Lee skaters. Nice stick there by Herman, and Bucs are coming back the other way on a 2-on-2. Havmeyer picks it up. Havmeyer to Herman. Open net. Oh, shot wide of the net. Great look there by Herman. They just couldn't bang it home. And now the Albert Lee Club's coming back on a 2-on-1. Nice stick there by Dirksen to break that up, and puck just squirts over into the corner, and a strong back check there by Tate Widland supported as well. And now the Bucs come back the other way. Herman breaks that up at center ice and puts it deep into the zone. He's going to come off for a line change there. A couple Bucs skaters there on the forecheck. Albert Lee looks to break it out, and they're successful in doing so, and they carry it out into the Bucs end. Nice stick by Malang. Backhanded out to center ice. Hicklin on the strong forecheck here. Dirksen looking to make a step as well. Albert Lee dumps it in. Malang retrieves it, rims it around. No one there for the Bucs. That's held in by the Albert Lee defenseman. And Dirksen goes to battle with the Redwood there, number 7. Looks to poke check it away. Can't. Nice stick there by the Bucs team, and Bucs come away with it. And nice backhand pass there by Hicklin. Looks to spring Claypool loose, just out of his reach. He circles around. Shot, and that's wide of the net. Albert Lee comes away with it. Picked off at center ice by Malang. Claypool controls, carries it in. Can't navigate the Albert Lee defenseman there, the toe drag. Dirksen picks it up, surveys his options. And that's offsides, and we get a whistle there. An opportune pass there across ice, a little bit telegraphed there, and Albert Lee looked to go the other way, and thankfully it was an offsides call. We're going to have a face-off right outside the Bucs end. Gladson, Long, and Claypool teamed up here. Capper and Van Eyten are the defensemen. Albert Lee coming away with it. Capper controls, looks to connect with Claypool just in his skates, but Gladson picks up the loose puck, carries it across center ice, looking to find Long, can't connect. Refs say keep on playing. Nice backhand pass there to Capper. Pad save, hot rebound there is live, and the puck comes all the way out to center ice for a 50-50 puck. Van Eyten corrals it nicely and transitions back the other way. Gains the blue line. Shot into the skates of the Albert Lee Club. Gladson controlling the high slot, puts it into the corner. Albert Lee, the first one's there. They look to clear it out, and they do. It was deflected, so no icing. Capper, first one there. He's got a little bit of pressure coming his way. He backhands it over to Claypool, a little too hot to handle. Capper finds Van Eyten on the left sideboards. Played up the center ice to Claypool. Gains the blue line. Wheels around. Buys himself a little time and space. Winds up with a slap shot off the boards. Smith picks it up. Backhands it to Long. Long to Smith. Puts it up into the glass. That goaltender is struggling to move side to side. A quick shot there might have went in. Albert Lee clears it out, and they come back the other way. Van Eyten picks it up, chips it up and out, and we got a 2-on-2 the other way. Smith and Havmeyer coming in on a 2-on-2. Smith moves it. Havmeyer, one-timer. Great attempt there, but it was wide of the net. Right idea, catching that goaltender moving right to left. There's a lot of net to shoot at low. Havmeyer controls, plays it down to Smith. Smith looks to give it back to Havmeyer, does. Backhanded shot goes wide, and Albert Lee comes away with it. Up into the feet, and the Bucs regroup there at center ice. Kruger puts it in. Herman regroups, surveying his options. Cross ice to Tiger. Tiger uses his big body to help Kruger get a hold of that one, and Kruger puts it into the corner, and it's going to come off for a change. Hicklin on the forecheck, just 35 seconds left in the first period, and strong effort here by the Bucs, and period number 1 of this weekend. Played over on the right sideboards to Hicklin. Albert Lee comes away with it, and they've got a 2-on-2 if they hurry. Strong back check by Malang there, who's supported by Kiger coming back and playing defense. Malang moves it over to Kiger. Kiger up to Hicklin. Hicklin gains the blue line coming in on the left wing side. Shots blocked out front behind the net. Just 7 seconds left. Hicklin controlling. Loses an edge. And that's going to do it for the first period. Bucs lead in shots 10-5. Score 0-0 after 1. We'll be back in 1 minute. All right, we are back. 0-0 after one. Gladson, Long, and Claypool. And it's one back to the Bucs defense. Long controlling. Moves it cross ice. Nearly hit Claypool on the left wing side there. And Albert Lee defenseman stepped up and puts a shot on net. And Brody Everett gloves that one down comfortably. George Claypool nearly hit there on a pass that would have had a great opportunity. He's coming in with a lot of speed on the left wing side, and I like our chances there. All right, Gladson on the draw, wins it back to Dirksen. Dirksen circles around his own net. He's looking for options. Finds Long, who finds Gladson. Gladson carries it across the blue line. Carries it on the backhand. That's knifed away by the Albert Lee defenseman, and they come away with the puck the other way. Nice stick there by Dirksen. Brody Long goes to battle there in the neutral zone. Dirksen one-hands it, looking to reconnect with Long, and Claypool picks up the open puck, and he's going to carry it through the neutral zone, gains the blue line. He's protecting that puck nicely there on the backhand. That Albert Lee defenseman there using his body nicely. Claypool shoves him to the ground, no call. Long controlling. We got a 2-on-2 battle here in the right corner. Albert Lee comes away with it, and it comes all the way out into the Bucs' end. Freddie Capper controlling. He stops, controls, looking for an option here on the left wing boards. He finds Kruger out in the neutral zone, just out of his reach, and they're going to call that no icing. Havmeyer comes in strong with the forecheck there, bangs into the boards pretty hard there, but he pops right up, and Albert Lee comes away with it. Their captain skates it out of the defensive end. Sticked aside by Brody Everett. Capper rims it around left wing side there, and Kruger makes chase. 50-50 puck there. The Albert Lee defender rims it around. Little D-to-D pass there. Comes out to the slot. Smith picks it up, loses it in his skates, puts it on the back of the goalie. Puck's still loose. Refs say keep on playing. And now finally a whistle. Puck right there on the doorstep, and the Bucs can't bang that one home. 12:54 left in the second period. Bucs continuing to push the pace here. Smith on the draw. Puck comes loose. Just out of Havmeyer's reach there, and Albert Lee comes back the other way. Herman comes away with it. And he finds Hicklin, who can't control the pass. Nearly had a breakaway, but he's going to be the first one to get there. Puts it out into the slot. No one home. The Albert Lee Club struggles to control it, and Hicklin picks it up again. Finds Widland. Fans on the shot. But Widland finds his rebound. The Bucs are really battling here. They're the first one to the puck. Finds Kiger in the high slot. Shot. Pad save. Rebounds live. Widland's there. And now Albert Lee finally comes away with it. Excellent work there by Hicklin, Widland, and Kiger. Nice stick by Herman to break up that rush. Albert Lee controls. Herman picks it up and skates it out of his own end. Loses it there at center ice. And Albert Lee comes away with it. Cross ice there. Van Eyten controls it. Off the boards. Albert Lee's got about 7 skaters out there at one time. And we might have an offsides or maybe too many men on the ice. Let's see. Referees are going to let it slide. Thought I saw 7 skaters out there at one time. Face off right outside the Bucs end. Gladson, Claypool, and Long. Dirksen controls. Finds Long. They've got a 3-on-2. Long gains the blue line. Oh, found Claypool in the back door, and the shot goes wide. Pad save. Claypool with the grade A chance right there on the doorstep. Gladson looking for Malang there at the point, and Albert Lee gets it out. Dirksen picks it up. 11:20 left in the second period. Dirksen looking for options. Can't connect with Claypool. Gladson on the back check. Albert Lee attempts to dump it in, can't. And Dirksen's going to get called for laying a kid out. Well, that's called checking, Max. You can't check in Pee-wees. Bucs are going to find themselves shorthanded for 90 seconds. You got put in the sin bin. Bucs have controlled most of this game. Let's see if we can build some momentum here with a strong penalty kill. Capper and Van Eyten are the defensemen. Smith on the draw, and I believe that's Claypool that's out there with him. I'm having a tough time getting a look on that second forward for the Bucs. It is Claypool. So 5-on-4 for the next 90 seconds. Puck drops wide. Albert Lee controls D to D. It's a little too hot to handle. Albert Lee puts it into the skates, shot, and a save. Fortunate bounce there for Albert Lee. D to D pass went to the skates of their center, and it caromed right over to the left wing side for a one-timer, and Brody Everett slides across the big save. Face-offs live, played back to the Albert Lee defense. A little too hot to handle, and Albert Lee looks to regroup in the neutral zone. They put it in deep. Van Eyten's going to be the first one there. Picks it up on the backhand. Surveys his options off the boards. Hits the referee. That holds it in, unfortunately. And a bouncing puck, and it's going to make its way out into the neutral zone. Claypool's on a chase, and he picks it up. He's the first one there. Shot, and a big save by Albert Lee, goaltender, there on the breakaway. Albert Lee comes back the other way on a 3-on-2. Shot, and that goes up into the glass. Capper looks to be the first one there. And Havmeyer's going to come away with the breakaway. He comes down on the forehand, shot off the pipe, plays it out front, and Albert Lee clears it away. 3-on-2 the other way. Havmeyer back checking. Drop pass. Broken up there. Pad save. Albert Lee controls the rebound. Another shot comes in. Plays it over to Kruger, who carries it out. Kruger gains the red line, dumps it in, and he's going to go take chase. Kruger there on the forecheck. They go hard into the boards there. No call by the refs. Both of them look to be okay. And that's going to do it for the power play. Excellent job by the Bucs killing that off. I think they put more pressure on than the Albert Lee club did.
I think they did better than they were short one.
Held in there by Kruger. Puts it in deep. Widland's going to pick that up off the boards. Circles around the net. Plays it out in front. Unable to connect with Kiger. Albert Lee failed clearing attempt, and it comes loose to Widland. Slap shot and a pad save. Albert Lee looks to clear it. Held in by Malang. Malang fires it in. Blocked out front. Puck's still loose. Widland battling there. Comes away with it. Looking to connect with Malang, who is coming down deep, and it's a miscommunication there, and Albert Lee comes away with it. That's blocked aside easily by Everett. Herman controls. Herman fires it across, hits the back of Kiger's leg. Malang's picking that up, carries it in. Drop pass to Widland. Widland's shot's blocked out easily by Albert Lee, and they come back the other way. In a one-on-one situation here, Herman on defense, and he sticks that aside nicely there. Nice block by Landon Herman. Herman picks it up and thought about firing it up ice. He does. Just out of Hiplin's reach, and no icing there. And we're going to get 3 fresh forwards out there for the Bucs. Puck makes its way out to center ice. Sauced over to Malang. He looks to one-touch it to Claypool, and the puck's pinballing around, and we've got another penalty here. A tripping call. Number 10, Malang, 1.5 minutes for tripping. Coach Smith not pleased with that. I can hear him from here saying the puck was on his stick. How is it a tripping? Bucs find themselves shorthanded once again. Puck's live. We've got Gladson and Claypool on forwards. Van Eyten and Dirksen are on defense. Puck's played out to the point. Played D to D. Shot comes in, pad save, and the rebound's there, and that's put in easily by Albert Lee. The Bucs defenders left one too many people open there in front of the net, and the rebound came live, and there's nobody there to clear it out. Albert Lee on top, 1-0. The Bucs have controlled much of this game. Unfortunately, 2 times in the box, and this time Albert Lee capitalizes on it. Let's see if we can get one back here quickly. Nice shot on goal there, and Brody Everett up to the task there, flashing that new glove of his. Nice big save. 7:37 left in the second period. Bucs trail 1-0. Albert Lee wins the draw. They play D to D. Long there loses an edge. Backhand comes in, blocked out front by Van Eyten. Dirksen goes to pursue. Shot coming in, wide of the net. Claypool picks it up, looks to find Long on a breakout pass, can't connect. Bucs team struggling to clear it out right now. A few whacks have been unsuccessful. Puck's put back into the corner. Dirksen looks to one-handed on forward to Long, can't. Van Eyten has a little bit of time, still controlling it, rims it around, finds Claypool just outside of his reach. Gladson clears it out into center ice where Long takes pursuit. One hands it forward to Claypool, gains the blue line. Taken away nicely there by the Albert Lee defender and off the boards. And Dirksen goes to pick that one up off the boards. Finds Long, plays it up to Dirksen. Dirksen up to Claypool. Claypool controlling. Shot, pad save. Puck's live. And the goaltender flops on that one, and we got a whistle. Excellent puck movement there by the Bucs. And a grade A chance. Excellent footwork there by Dirksen as he was coming up to the neutral zone. The pass was in his skates. He kicked it up to his stick and was able to feed that on forward to Claypool. He's working on that in the backyard rink 2 nights ago, actually. Bucs trail 1-0. Smith on the draw. Kruger and Havmeyer, the wingers. Face-off win comes to Albert Lee, and they come away with it. Strong back check here by the Bucs forwards. Albert Lee does gain the blue line. Herman uses his big body. The trip, they're going to let that one go. That's probably the worst of all 3 of the penalties, but hey, it's nice to have one go your way. Puck squirts out into the neutral zone. Havmeyer gains the blue line. Shot comes in, blocked out front. Havmeyer gets the rebound, feeds it out front, nobody there, and Albert Lee club comes away with it. Capper uses his big body to wall off that skater for Albert Lee. Herman plays it off the boards, but not out. Albert Lee fires it in, and that rolls right into the crease of Everett, and he scoops it up. Sure is a short stop there, and we get ourselves a whistle. 5:54 left in the second period. Bucs trail 1-0. Really like the effort, the way they're moving the puck, and I think it's only a matter of time they bring this one to even. Tiger on the draw. Albert Lee shot and fanned on. Hicklin looked to break loose there, and unfortunately the Albert Lee club was able to stymie that rush, and finally the Bucs were able to clear it out. Tiger gains the red line, looks to dipsy doodle around the Albert Lee defender, cannot, and now there's a 2-on-2 battle here on the sideboards, 3-on-3 battle rather, and Albert Lee gets it up and out, and Herman controls, reverses it, finds Tiger, and Bucs struggling to get the puck deep into the Albert Lee zone, but Herman continues to navigate the neutral zone nicely. Albert Lee does come away with it, and they finally fire it in deep. Capper rims it around out of the reach of Widland, comes out to center ice. Albert Lee regroups and pitchforks it back into the Bucs end. Herman picks it up there in the left corner, rims it around, and puck makes its way back out to center ice. Got an offsides call. 5 fresh skaters for the Bucs. 5 fresh skaters for Albert Lee Club. And face-off's going to be just outside of the Bucs zone. Got a little Top Gun theme song here. Appreciate the 80s retro music. Gladson on the draw. Long and Claypool are the wingers. 2-on-2 battle here in the neutral zone. Put up into the boards. Long pursuing it. Can't come away with it. Claypool takes a whack at it. Long crosses the blue line. That's stymied by the Albert Lee Club. Malang controlling right outside the zone. Carries it into the blue line. Malang comes away with it. Just out of the reach of Claypool. And now Albert Lee comes away 2-on-1. Gladson on the strong back check. And shot comes in, and that's easily gloved down like a pop fly for Brody Everett. Surely would have liked to see the Bucs just put that deep into the offensive zone. Sometimes you just got to get it in deep and go pick it up off the boards on a forecheck. Gladson wins it over to Malang, rims it around the boards. Claypool picks that up, carries it through the neutral zone, gains the blue line on the left wing side, shoots it off the side of the net, controls his own rebound. Shot, and that's a quick whistle there. Just beneath the goaltender there. Claypool with a grade A chance. 3:58 left in the second period. Bucs still looking for their first tally of the weekend. Smith, Kruger, and Havmeyer are the forwards. Havmeyer and Kruger trade places. Havmeyer on the right, Kruger on the left. Puck's live. Herman's going to step. Herman puts it into the corner. Havmeyer goes to work, supported nicely by Smith, and a 2-on-2 battle there in the right corner. Who's going to come away with it? Havmeyer controlling momentarily. Can't get past the big redwood for the Albert Lee Club. 7 for Albert Lee, looks to put it in deep. Herman picks it up, plays it across to Smith, to Havmeyer. Havmeyer coming through the neutral zone with some speed. Puck's put over into the corner. Havmeyer still controlling. Looks for Smith out in the slot. Hits a Albert Lee skater. Smith using his big body to control the puck. Still controlling it. Van Eyten calling for it there in the high slot. Smith can't find him. And Albert Lee comes away with it. And they chip it up and out. And we got a 50-50 puck the other way. And if Albert Lee gets there, they got a 2-on-1. Backdoor. And a big stick save by Brody Everett, who's up to the task. That Albert Lee forward was all alone, and Brody Everett came up big to keep this a 1-0 hockey game. And we got ourselves an offsides. Brody Everett's been steady back there today. Really liked his performance, giving the Bucs a chance to keep this a tight hockey game. Puck's live. Kiger comes away with it, plays it up to Hicklin, who puts it into the Bucs end, and Widland's going to pursue it. Refs say keep playing. Widland's there on the forecheck, supported by Hicklin. Hicklin comes away with it for now, controlling. Widland and Hicklin play tic-tac-toe. Dirksen steps up. Dirksen controlling, plays it over to Hicklin. Hicklin plays it back to Dirksen. Shot coming from the high slot, pad save. Goaltenders seem to track that one nicely. Puck squirts out into the front of the net. Puck's still loose. The refs say play. It appeared that the goaltender was on top of that, but the refs had a close look at it and were pretty patient there with the whistles, which I really appreciate. 1-0, Bucs trail with 2:15 left in the second. Draw comes back to Dirksen. Slap shot comes in, wide of the net. Capper's there to pick up the rebound in the corner. Plays it across ice. Hicklin's the first one there. Plays it back to Dirksen on the point. Shot comes in. He fans on it. Albert Lee comes away with it. Capper comes over to step, and he's going to pick it up and rim it around. Dirksen's going to be there to retrieve it. He's surveying his options. He reverses it. Reverses it again. He's looking for a skater to hit, and he's looking for Widland, who's up at the center ice area, and they just can't connect. Albert Lee making a rush there. Dirksen with a nice stick is able to get it out into the neutral zone. Everett, stick save there. Dirksen picks that one up. Rims it around. Puck makes its way out to neutral zone, and Albert Lee looks to regroup. They play D to D twice. And that's off the boards. And Dirkson's going to pick that one up. Nice stick there by Capper. He's got a couple forwards hollering for it. I think that was deflected, but the refs say icing. 1:06 left in the second period. A couple forwards there out on an island, nearly on a breakaway. Dirkson just missed him with a sauce pass. .106 left in the second period. Gladson on a nice face-off win there. Van Eyten rims it around. That's walled off by number 5 from Albert Lee. Malang gets it out to center ice, and Albert Lee looks to regroup. They feed it way across ice. Nice step there by Van Eyten to break up that rush. And we're going to get a call the other way. Bucks are going to go on a power play here. Opportune time to break even here with 46 seconds left. They knocked down one of our players. It was a pretty weak call in my opinion, but hey, a couple weak ones have been called our way. We'll take it. All right, we got Van Eyten and Malang on the points. Gladson, Claypool, and Long are the forwards. Albert Lee wins the draw. They rim it around. Can't control there on the sideboards. And just 38 seconds left, and Bucks go to retrieve it. Malang considers his options, finds Long. Long feeds Gladson. Gladson coming up to the neutral zone. That's broken up. Malang plays it on forward to Long. Just 19 seconds left. Bucks are going to have to hurry if they're going to get a chance here to put a shot on net. Puck's loose there in the slot, and Gladson gets it up, or Albert Lee gets it up and out. 50-50 puck. Shot and a big pad save. And that's going to do it for the second period. Bucks trail 1-0 after 2. All right, we are back. Start of the third period. Bucks are going to be on a power play for a bit longer. It looks like they ran the penalty off of the clock. They're putting that back on. Number 12's got 45 more seconds to serve. Smith, Claypool, and Kruger are the forwards. Herman and Havmeyer on the points on this power play on a 5-on-4. Puck is live. Albert Lee comes away with it, and they put it in deep. And Havmeyer goes to pick that up off the boards, plays it over to Herman, who moves it along to Claypool. Broken up by number 7 of Albert Lee. And that's going to take 15 seconds off of the power play. Bucks come away with it. Havmeyer is going to skate it out. Finds Claypool. Claypool's got a step. Shot wide of the net. Kruger picks up the rebound. Smith controlling. Herman steps. Plays it out into the slot. The Bucks can't bang it home. Havmeyer goes to pick up the 50-50 puck. Claypool picks it up, backhands it over to Kruger. That's picked off by Albert Lee, and that's going to do it for the Bucs power play. Kruger carries it over the blue line. Shot comes in, and that's gobbled up by the Albert Lee goaltender. 13:58 in the third period. Bucs trail 1-0. Really didn't put much offensive pressure on at all in that power play, unfortunately. Tiger, Widlin, and Hicklin, Dirksen, and Capper on defense. Tiger comes away with it, plays it to Capper. Capper shoots it into an Albert Lee skater. Albert Lee can't clear it. Capper's got an opportunity, can't get it through the three bodies. Tiger picks it up. Capper controls. And makes its way out to the neutral zone. And that's going to be an offsides. All right, here we go. Albert Lee comes away with it. They gain the blue line. Off the side of the goal net. Comes out to the point. Shot comes in, blocked out front. Tiger with a big, strong stick there. Can't poke it loose. Capper comes over into the corner. Albert Lee plays it out to the point. A little too hot to handle. 13-minute and change left in the third period. Puck makes its way to Dirksen's stick. He surveys his options. Plays it over to Capper. And bounces off his stick. Dirksen retrieves it. Looks for his options. Skates it up. Looks to find Gladson. She puts it into the corner and goes to forecheck mode. D-to-D for the Albert Lee club. Just out of Brody Long's reach. Claypool picks it up there. Skates it through the neutral zone. Has a little bit of time and space. Slashes through. It's got a step. Shot and a goal! George Claypool puts it up blocker side and made that look very easy. Really took the goaltender by surprise. Bucs tie it up 1-1. Maybe we've been shooting in the wrong places all game, because that's the 19th shot of the game, and we finally broke through. 1-1 hockey game. Gladson on the draw to Claypool. Albert Lee controls. Backdoor, and off the pipe. 6 save, puck's loose, and we got a whistle. No goal. A little bit of sloppy play off that initial face-off that put the Bucs in trouble. 2 grade A chances off the pipe and a stick save for Everett. We had won the draw, but our skaters turned the other way and kind of took themselves out of the play and put us in a bad spot there for a moment. But the post and Brody Everett bailed us out of that one. So 1-1 hockey game still. Havmeyer comes away with the draw, coming through the neutral zone quickly. That's broken up. Defenseman from Albert Lee takes a spill. I'm happy to see no penalty called there. I think it was just fair play. Havmeyer going to work there in the left corner. Smith coming in to support. Albert Lee comes away with it. The captain skates it up and out of the defensive zone. Moves it across the ice, and we got a 2-on-1 the other way. Strong back check and support there by Kruger. Malang looks to stymie that rush as well. Smith and Malang team up on a 2-on-2 battle here in the left corner. Little foul play happening there in front of the net. Van Eyten getting hooked up here with 12. And that's a kicking motion there. And Van Eyten doing an excellent job tying up that guy in the front of the net. Some physical play starting to happen here by both sides. And the refs are just kind of letting them play right now here in the third period. Battle behind the net. Havmeyer comes away with it. And he ices it down, ready for a fresh set of legs. Not a bad play when you know you need a change. Looked like a football play there in front of Brody Everett there for a while. Kiger, Hicklin, and Widlin are the forwards. That's one over to Herman, rims it around, just out of Widlin's reach, and Albert Lee's going to look to regroup in the neutral zone, D to D. Fan on the pass there, and Widlin picks it up. Shot comes in and a stick save, and that's gobbled up quickly by Albert Lee's goaltender. Hicklin and Widlin really buzzing there on the forecheck, caused a little bit of a turnover there and another shot on goal. A little fist bump of encouragement to Kiger, who's going to take the draw here. Widlin lined up in front of the Albert Lee goaltender, who's really out challenging the shooter here on this draw. Maybe look for a backdoor play on that next faceoff. Rimmed around by Albert Lee. Capper looks to step up, but can't hold it in. And that puck makes its way all the way out into the Bucs' end. Herman calmly picks that up, surveys his options, nearly squirts into Brody Everett's territory, but puck makes its way into the corner. Herman picks it up and gets it out of harm's way. Kiger goes to work there in the neutral zone. Albert Lee carries it across the ice. Herman controlling, skating with his head up, looking for options, gets it out of the Bucs' end, gains the blue line, and he backhands it into the zone, but not deep enough, and Albert Lee chips it out, and that's going to be an ice. With 10 minutes left in the third period, we're going to have a face-off in the offensive end to the right of the Albert Lee goaltender. Let's see if we can get another shot on net, maybe go blocker side again. Claypool sniped there just minutes ago. Let's see if we can get another one here. This Gladson-Claypool long lines really skated well together today. Dirksen and Malang on defense. Albert Lee comes away with it. Puck comes out to the point. Claypool controlling. Skates it on the right side. Still controlling. He's got a little bit of space. Shot comes in. And that's squeezed off by the Albert Lee goaltender. I think he was trying to go blocker side again. 9:45 left in the third period. Bucs 1, Albert Lee 1. Shot comes in. That's blocked and broken stick. Claypool comes off for a new one. Habmeyer pops out there for him. Nice stick there by Dirksen to break up that rush, and that enables Gladson to pick it up. Gladson long 2-on-2. Shot comes up into the glass. I think that was blocked out front. Nice stick there by Long. Wins that 50-50 battle. And Albert Lee's the first one to the puck there. Nice step by Malang. He puts it back behind the Albert Lee goal net. Albert Lee picks it up off the boards. Dirksen steps. Is able to hold it in, at least momentarily. Bucs team up there. We got 4 red sweaters all swarmed up there, and unfortunately Albert Lee comes away with it. Cross ice pass, number 5's got a step. Dirksen steps out, does a Superman, and Brody Everett sticks that one aside, gets it out of harm's way. Albert Lee player slashing to the front of the net, looking to Long on a breakaway, gloved into the Albert Lee netminder. I can see that glove hand's not the way to go. It's blocker side on this goaltender. That blocker and stick's a little heavier to move than the old glove. Habmeyer saw Long out of the corner of his eyes, was able to hit him on that pass. And Long just picked up a little bit of steam and was able to get a shot off. Bucs come away with the puck. Herman puts it into the pads of the Albert Lee defender. He picks it up and puts it off the boards, turns it over. Sticked aside by Everett. Albert Lee's the first ones there. Smith goes to battle there in the right corner. Kind of in the dangerous area. Van Eyten backhands it up, but not out. Kruger goes to battle. Smith battling there as well. Albert Lee comes away with it. They gain the blue line. Sticked aside by Van Eyten. Picks it up on the forehand. Rims it around. Albert Lee's going to wall that off and puts a shot on that. Innocent-looking shot. And that's sticked down and covered up by Brody Everett. We're going to have a draw to the right of Everett here with 7:54 left in the third period. 1-1 hockey game. Really strong effort here by the Bucs. Tiger, Hicklin, and Widlin. Van Eyten and Herman are the defenders. Shot comes in, sticked aside by Van Eyten. Rims it around to Hicklin. Tiger comes away with it out to the neutral zone. In the skates of the Albert Lee defender, they come away with it and transition the other way. Shot goes up into the glass. Herman's the first one there. Surveys his options, sauces it to Widlin just beyond his reach. Puck makes its way out to the neutral zone, and that's going to be an offsides. Maybe an intentional all the way down. Let's see where they call this face-off. They're going to put it there at the dot just outside the Bucs end. Would have liked to see that go on to center ice, just maybe, but Capper and Malang on defense. Gladson, Claypool, and Long are the forwards. Malang sauces it a little nonchalantly there, and that's easily picked off by Albert Lee, and a shot and a big glove save. A lot of net there to shoot at in that glove side, and Everett flashes leather. Coach Smith providing some coaching feedback there after that neutral zone turnover. And Gladson's ready on the draw. Capper lining up on the left side. Puck squirts to the left of Everett, and Malang's the first one there. Long looks to pick it up off the boards, does. Claypool picks it up, and we're going 2-on-2 the other way. Claypool puts it into the corner. Gladson and Long are pursuing on the offensive forecheck. Claypool looks to be the first one there on the right side boards. Malang comes down low. Shot, pad, save. Possibly looking to go 5-hole on that one. And Albert Lee skates it up and out. And we've got a breakaway. Shot and a blocker save. Big save there by Everett. And that puck makes its way out to the neutral zone. Number 4 is going to dangle a couple of times. And the Bucs struggling to take it away. Maybe put a body on him and separate him from the puck. Nonetheless, Gladson comes away with it. Albert Lee controlling the pace right now. Number 3 set up there in the slot. Thankfully, Gladson comes away with it. Looks to connect with Claypool. Slap shot's blocked. And Gladson puts it out to center ice. That's sticked down by Albert Lee. And puck makes its way out to the neutral zone. And the Bucs look to come away with it. The puck is bouncing around like a ping pong right now. And that's frozen. And Smith comes in and sprays the goalie a little bit there in the eyes. I like that move. A little gamesmanship there. Can't say it was on purpose, but looking to cool that goalie off. Smith, Havmeyer, and Kruger are the forwards. Dirksen on the left D. Van Eyten on the right. Albert Lee comes away with it. Gets it out to the neutral zone, but Havmeyer picks it up, controlling. Shot, hits a skate. Albert Lee comes away with it. Nice back check there by Smith to keep it in the Bucs end. Havmeyer looks to pick up the loose puck. And we got ourselves a battle here in the left corner. Van Eyten come in and support. Kruger high up in the slot. Dirksen's going to step up. He sees a 50-50 puck there. Dirksen looks to put it in the corner. Havmeyer, shot comes in. That's wide of the net. And Albert Lee comes away with it. And they're going to come back the other way. Shots comes in, stick save. Everett closes the 5-hole there and a big save. Hicklin gets it out to the neutral zone. Kruger there with a strong individual effort comes away with the puck. Shot comes in, looks to handcuff the goaltender, and it makes its way into the corner. Herman controls, moves it across ice. Hicklin's got some space. Hicklin shot, and that's glove down. And we'll have ourselves a face-off in the offensive zone for the Bucs. .446 left in the third. 1-1 hockey game. Shots are pretty much even at 24-22. Tiger on the draw. Albert Lee comes away with it. They look across ice. Malang picks it up. Moves it on forward. Finds Hicklin. Hicklin's battling there in the corner. Herman looks to step up and hold it in. He can't. And Albert Lee comes back the other way, and they got themselves a 3-on-2. That's shot wide of the net. Live rebound comes over to the right of Brody Everett. Looking to go back door. That's broken up by Herman. Like to see a strong movement there to get that puck out of the zone. Great forecheck there back check by Woodland to break that up. Intercepted at center ice by Hicklin. He carries it in the left wing side. He fires it in, and a slow roller is frozen by the Albert Lee goaltender. 4:06 left, 1-1 hockey game. It'll be interesting to see if either coaches use their timeout. Sometimes no timeouts are allowed here in these round robin games, so not sure what the rule book necessarily states, but Gladson on the draw here. Claypool lined up in the high slot. Gladson wins it back to Herman, and that's a snapped twig by Landon Herman. Might have to make a trip over to Pier Hockey later tonight, Jen. Herman just snapped his twig. Yeah. You hear the cash register going cha-ching, cha-ching over at Pier Hockey. All right, puck's in play. Herman steps, can't hold it in. Malang gloves that one down and retrieves it on a 50-50 puck. Long looking for the breakout pass. He connects. And the Bucs come back the other way, 3-on-3. And that's an offsides. Claypool just a step ahead of the play there, slashing, looking to get hit there on the back door. 3:44 left in the third. We got ourselves a 1-1 hockey game. Dirksen and Capper are the defenders. Gladson, Claypool, and Long are the forwards. Puck's into the pads of Capper, and the Bucs come away with it. Gladson crosses the blue line. Controlling, shot, blocker save, and no rebound. Albert League Club taking a little exception to the Bucs forwards there right on the doorstep. Unable to cash in because there was no rebound. 3:33 left in the third. Tie game, 1-1. As my friend Pat Foley, the old Chicago Blackhawks announcer, like to say, 3:33 left in the third. Backdoor slapper hits the side of the net. Dirksen nearly with his grade A chance there on a one-time attempt. Nice look there by Capper. He would have got a little more on that. I think that might have been a goal. That's an icing. They're going to call no icing. I'm not sure why. Rimmed around. No one's there. Capper picks that one off. Looks to play it off the boards. Out to the point. That's gloved nicely by Everett. 3:05 left in the third, 1-1. Coach Smith's got some choice words for the referees who just waved off an icing. At this stage of the game, every face-off matters. Coach Smith his grandson, Nolan Smith on the draw, wins it to Dirksen, plays it off the glass, hits an unfortunate bounce, makes its way to the point. Albert Lee's shot comes in and a big stick save. Brody Everett's been very focused tonight and doing an excellent job keeping this score a 1-1 hockey game. 2:53 left in the third, 1-1. Three fresh skaters here for the Bucs. Gladson, Long, and Claypool. Albert Lee comes away with it. Shots blocked out front. Capper plays it on forward to Claypool, just out of his reach. And then they're going to call that one an icing. The same play happened a moment ago, and they're going to let that one be an icing. Well, I guess I should just commentate and let them ref. 2:41 left in the third, 1-1. Claypool nearly with the breakaway opportunity there. Gladson had a great look. Gladson wins it back to Van Eyten, plays it over to Herman. Herman picks it up, chips it up to Long, plays it to Claypool. Claypool gains the red line, now the blue line. Skates it in, looks to Dangle, still controlling, he's pushed off the puck. The puck's live. Van Eyten with a shot, pad save. Stick the side, and Albert Lee comes away with it. Van Eyten steps to hold it in. Puck's still loose. Gladson looks to be the first one there. Controls it on the forehand. He's got some time in the corner, plays it out front, comes out to Herman at the point. Snapshot blocked out front. Albert Lee controls it off the boards. Held in momentarily by Herman. Puck squirts out to center ice. Long controls, carries it back in, protects the puck, shot, stick, pad save, rebounds live, 1:52 left in the third, played out to the point, slap shot coming in, hits the pipe, makes its way into the right corner, and Albert Lee looks to clear. They cannot. Long controlling, Gladson set up in the back door, Long unable to get it to her. Albert Lee skater loses an edge, no call. Long controlling, shot, blocked out front. Rebound comes to Gladson on the left wing. Albert Lee looking to clear. Bucks really controlling the pace with 1:24 left. Albert Lee's got it, and nice stick there by Herman. The captain, number 5, comes away with it. Shot comes in. Nice stick there by Van Eyten to block that one aside. Claypool picks it up. Got some fresh legs here with Tate Woodland. Claypool carries it, gains the red line. Gains the blue line, turns it over, and Albert Lee sticks it out and puts it out into the neutral zone. Backhanded across into the neutral zone. Dirksen picks it up, and he fires it in deep. Albert Lee plays it across. Dirksen looks to make a step, can't hold it in. Now Albert Lee comes away with it with some speed. 2-on-1 the other way. Played across to the left wing. Havmeyer picks it up. Albert Lee controlling, open in the high slot. Shot and a goal. Albert Lee on top, 2-1. With 31 seconds left. I don't think Brody Everett saw that one at all. A defender in front of him. And Albert Lee is now on top, 2-1. And we got a timeout from Albert Lee. We'll be back in 1 minute. All right, we are back. Coach Smith had an opportunity to talk it over with the Des Moines club. And we've got 5-on-5 here for the next 31 seconds. Coach Smith may pull Everett if we get an opportunity to put some offensive pressure on. Albert Lee on foot. Play the puck. And we're going to take a whistle. 23 seconds left. We're going to look for a quick face-off win here and see if we can transition over into the offensive zone. Kruger comes away with it. One last rush. Played over to Havmeyer. Havmeyer skates it into the offensive zone. 13 seconds. Herman steps. 10 seconds. Plays it out into the slot. Capper's got it for a moment. Claypool gets a stick on it. Just 4 seconds. 3, 2, shot coming out, and that's going to do it. Bucks lose 2-1. Strong effort from both clubs, and Bucks go down in a defeat 2-1 to a good hockey team out of Albert Lee. We'll be back tomorrow morning 2 games tomorrow against Sioux Falls and Sioux City, I believe. So we'll look to get a couple of W's there and see if we can play our way into the championship round on Sunday. So long for now. We'll be back tomorrow morning.